Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony and I work for Mercedes. I am going to profile today the key differences between the 2020 E-Class and the redesigned 2021 E-Class. We have both in stock currently, so I thought what better time than to A-B compare them. I'll spend most of my time with the new E, and then I'll overlay some footage of the previous gen E. I'm currently sitting in a brand new 21 E450. So let's start with the outside. So the key difference with the redesign is in the front end. The headlights in particular have been updated. Now Mercedes has always been good about not leaving customers in their previous generation models sort of in the dust. Some of our competitors are kind of known for doing major redesigns, and it's very obvious when you have the previous gen model. But this is the new 21 front end. The headlights are a little bit more flat. The front nose has more of a squared off, sort of it comes up and it goes over, versus the previous generation, just two cars up here. You can see the headlights are a little bit more wraparound. They kind of hug the body line of the car, and there's just a little bit more angle to the way the hood sort of slopes, whereas the front of the new model, you can see this sort of ice blue one and the black one, it gives it more of a muscular appearance, just being sort of straight down, straight back. You can see the lines though, as far as it being a full-size sedan, you know, comfortable for 4 adults, even 5 adults. The lines are not that much different. You sort of have to know what a new style Mercedes looks like to notice the difference, but you know, those of us that work in the business, we recognize this front end immediately as the new style. Now moving on to the interior, this is where the key differences are. So at a glance, when you look at the inside of the new style, it wouldn't even be immediately apparent, even to somebody that's in the business, because the E-Class was sort of always known for having that big glass panel for your infotainment. Where you really kind of notice it quickly, if you know what you're looking for, is this is the brand new redesigned steering wheel. It's all haptic touch, and they've gotten rid of the wheel and gone to the new touchpad, which is sort of a key indicator that this vehicle has the MBUX. I'm going to hop in and we'll fire it up. Go through it with you. So this is now kind of a touch control system. So where there used to be a little wheel that you would roll, all of these controls are now just haptic touch. So when I press the home button, there's still a satisfying feel, but this little panel here now, I just sort of scroll around. Likewise on this side, like my cruise control, setting my speed now is just a matter of sort of sliding my finger up and down on this piece of plastic. And they upgraded the paddle shifters too, so they're much more satisfying feeling, feel a bit more premium. And then the steering wheel has the new sort of design cap. Yeah, just very attractive. And in the previous generation, you did have digital gauges, but they weren't quite as customizable. So with the new MBUX gauges, you can actually customize all 3 of these columns. So I can scroll over to the right. As you can see, I can scroll down, change what's displayed there. I can go to the middle, I can change that. And I can go to the left, which you couldn't do in the previous generation, and I can change that. So there's hundreds of different combinations of what you could have on display here. And if I press the little house, then I have the option of choosing a display item to go full widescreen. So let's say I want to have driver assistance be the only thing I'm concerned about, the only thing I want to see. So I can go full widescreen driver assistance. So now if there's a car driving along in front of me, it's going to show a picture of that car. If they pull over, so I'm getting full driver assistance. If I go, say for example, navigation, say I'm in a city I'm not that familiar with, again, I scroll down to the very bottom, has the option of full screen display, click that, and boom, now my navigation is the main sort of focus. I always have my engine speed and some of the other data that the car is providing, but if I'm wanting one thing to be like the main thing that I'm seeing, then I have that option. Now, the other panel here, it used to be able to be controlled with the wheel or the little touchpad, but now it's gone to MBUX. So the MBUX has the 4 points of interaction. So you've got the option of controlling it with your thumb on the steering wheel, so you can just sort of keep, you know, your hand on the wheel as you're driving, just scroll. If you want to go into a menu, you just press down. The second option is the touchpad now is much more responsive. It has pinch to zoom, which it did before, but yeah, it's a lot better. You've got a home button there as well, and I can scroll. You can sort of hear it's got like a satisfying click and a feel sort of coming up under my finger. The third way that I can interact with it is the screen itself is full touch, and you can see as I reach over, the items kind of recognize that I'm getting close to them, so you get that little point of interaction there. And this is where the system really is impressive. You see just how much they invested in the processor in this system. Like, just look how little lag there is as I scroll. And even if I go into the Sirius XM, just turn that down. Like, these channel, they have the option of changing the display. So this is updating from the satellite system sort of on the fly, and it's still just so fast. So that's 3 ways I can interact with it. And then the 4th way is I now have the digital assistant. So our previous gen, you always had this little talk button, and when you pressed it, you would have the option of 3 or 4 things that it could do. It could set a navigation waypoint, it could make a phone call, it could change the radio. Now it can do just about anything. So I can just say, hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Turn on my heated steering wheel.
Okay, I'm switching on the steering wheel heating.
Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Change the ambient light color to blue.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
You probably won't see that very much during the day. But yeah, that digital assistant can do just about anything. So yeah, that's the 4th point of interaction, the ability to talk to the car and have that assistant kind of do your bidding. The rest of it, it looks like it did in the previous gen. It's just, this is so much more powerful than it was before. So you've got the nicer, kind of newer UI, and it can do a lot more, and it does it in a much more attractive way. The rest of the redesign, I mean, they've changed some of the colors available. They've made improvements, you know, subtle improvements here, there, and everywhere. But at the end of the day, it's an E-Class, which is such a beautiful vehicle, always has been, and is, you know, a great seller for us. So now the other big difference, I'm just going to pop the hood. With the new E-Class, the 450, the 350 is still a bi-turbo 4-cylinder, makes about 259 horsepower, I think, and about 275 torque. But the 450, it used to be a V6 bi-turbo. Now it is a straight 6. So the cylinders are in line, which creates a bit more of a quiet kind of engine idle. But also it has the EQ boost. So this has a 48-volt electric motor that supplements the gas engine. So technically you could park this in a hybrid parking spot. It is a hybrid. That electric motor eliminates the need for belts and things powering all the accessories. It can power those. And the electric motor also gives you the option of, well, not the option, the availability of a major power boost on demand. So it comes from our Formula One technology, where you press down on the accelerator pedal and you instantly get an extra 21 horsepower and 184 foot-pounds of torque on demand, just by having that electric motor kind of gathering power as you're coasting and as you're cruising, and then it delivers it, kind of slams you in the back, and then 10 seconds later the system goes back into recharge mode, and then once it's ready for another EQ boost, they call it, then you hit the gas and away you go. So you've got a major power upgrade with that straight 6. All right, so I'm back behind the wheel of the E450 2021. I hope you enjoyed the profile. You can see how the differences are subtle, but they are major improvements. And you know, if you're looking and you're considering one versus the other, the new one is the one that will age better. It'll be the one that dealers want in 4 or 5 years, and it'll be the one that, you know, in 10 years people will really know, okay, 2021 is where they made some major improvements. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, and you like Mercedes and you like interesting car reviews, then click subscribe, and I'll continue to post.